Alright, let's drag this spiky haired tiger to the courtroom. So we're finally going to see the tiger on the stand. We've almost got this case won now, Nick. I wish I could agree. Huh? When I cross-examined Mr. Armstrong just now, he said he was just doing what the tiger told him to do. But Godot picked up on it, remember? He pointed out that without proof, we don't know if what he testified is the truth. You mean, you think Mr. Armstrong was lying? I don't know, but if that's the line the prosecution takes, we could be in trouble. I get the feeling that we don't have the case-making evidence we're going to need. Hey, pal! Detective Gumshoe. What are you so jumpy about, Detective? Your hair's standing on end. Hey, that's the pot calling the kettle black, little Miss Top Knot. It's not Top Knot. Well, never mind about the hair, just calm down, alright? I can't stand still when I don't have a job to do. I gotta get wound up. Ah! No kidding. You gotta have something you need me to do, pal, anything. Well, hey, I'm gonna take a jog back down to the precinct. I could get some prints analyzed for you if you got an hour. An hour? The trial will have reconvened by then. But Nick, we still don't have really decisive piece of... we don't have a really decisive piece of evidence, right? True, without some kind of trump card to pull out of the bag, we're really stuck. You say you get some fingerprint analysis done in an hour? You bet. In that case, would you mind checking the prints on this for me? Wait, what? What do I check? Covered in unidentified fingerprints. Unidentified fingerprints. That's not relevant, I don't think. Bears Maggie's fingerprints. Bag's empty. I don't know. I mean, it says unidentified, right? That doesn't mean... I mean, probably, yeah. I mean, who probably touched this? Probably the killer, you know? Because I'm thinking... I don't know, like this bottle too. I thought this bottle was from the prescription bag, but I guess this medicine's from the prescription bag. What did Gumshoe say again? I forgot. Like when we first got this bottle, did he say like he didn't have time to find the fingerprints, or did he like couldn't like they couldn't like they couldn't like find like it says here unidentified fingerprint. I don't know. I'm gonna assume like they couldn't find who the fingerprints belonged to is what I'm gonna assume. Kind of forgot what you said though. So maybe could you analyze this again, maybe? We're going back to the station anyway. Could you find out whose prints are on this? Oh hey, that's the small bottle I gave back to you this morning, right? Yeah, I think it's time we solve the last mystery of who the prints on it belong to. Sure thing, pal. Actually, that's been gnawing at me too. Okay, give him back to him. Okay, I'll get this off to the lab right away. Just make sure you don't lose the case before I get it back. Okay. Well, this is pretty much the final showdown, I guess. It's time to separate the phonies from the real guys. As it turns out, it's not just like Phoenix that was that had an imposter, it was the victim as well. So that's surprising. That was surprising anyway. A court will now reconvene. Mr. Godot, did you find this Furio Tigre? I even tamed him for you. It was a 3-cup job, no problem. Tamed him? The guy's name may be Furio Tigre, but come on. He's pretty lively. Be careful, he still bites. Very well, please show Mr. Tigre to the stand. Witness, please state your name and occupation. Ah! Oop. Don't hide under the table, Maya, unless there's room for me down there too.
What'd you say to me?
Nothing. I didn't say nothing. Honest. Who could have guessed that fear would induce a bad Brooklyn accent? The judge. Brooklyn accent. How you? I don't know. I'm so bad at accents. I don't know what a Brooklyn accent is. But I think Brooklyn accent. I think Joey from Yu-Gi-Oh, especially the abridged series. I don't remember how it goes. I don't know. Anyway,
I got business to take care of. You hear me? So who the hell called me to this hole? Was it you, Spiky?
No, of course not. Even though you're spiky too. It was the judge, and the judge hides. Your Honor.
Oh dear, I seem to have dropped my pen. Where on earth is it? Don't mind me, just carry on the proceeding as normal.
That's it, we're doomed.
Maybe you just didn't hear me. I said who the hell was it that called me here?
There's no need to shout. We can all hear you.
What did you say?
There's no point struggling. You're caught in the snare. The relentless snare of the law. And I'm the one that holds you in. The too cool. That's too cool. Takui. Don't let him get the better of you, Nick. Let's start with the basics. You know about the incident in question, correct?
Incident? I know nothing about no sticking incident, mask boy.
You mean you didn't attend the previous trial of Maggie Bird?
Maggie who? I've got more important things to do than watch courtroom dramas.
Of course. Well, perhaps you could give us your testimony then. Please tell us about what you did on the day of the murder.
Phoenix Wright. You's the one who set this up, didn't you? You's gonna regret the day you ruffled the tiger's fur. You hear what I'm saying?
Maybe I should have brought a diaper with me today. Get a grip, Nick. As she hides under the table. I don't know how to like tiger the biggest thing or the way I'm reading Tiger's lines, like it's based on just this one thing where you're like this guy that says, "Hey, I'm walking here." That's a New York thing, isn't it? Or at least, well, actually I looked that up. Actually, I think it's like from a movie, or whatever, and entirely improvised. And it's not really like not real people actually say it, but like it's like a cliche Hollywood kind of thing, like, "Hey, I'm walking here." Anyway, I don't know.
I don't know nothing about no murder. I was tied up with business in December last year. Spent all my time in my office. I got whales lined up to borrow cash from Tender Letter every single day. You just want to check my alibi? Just ask for a letter.
She's biased though, so. At last, I found my pen. Very well then, Mr. Wright. Your cross-examination. What is it, please? Witness, if you could refrain from shouting out like that.
I know the kind of games that guy Blue plays. That lowlife ain't no lawyer. He just punches away at stupid details that he wins.
Lowlife? Me?
Listen up, smarty. Every time you ask me something that doesn't relate to this case, I'm gonna bill you $50,000. He's gonna borrow that cash from me.
That's one loan contract I refuse to sign.
I don't think it ain't gonna hurt when you tangle the tiger.
I love a good spectator sport.
Just a minute, that's really not.
This witness is,
how can I put it, a hungry tiger roaming the urban jungle. Get on his bad side and he'll bite everyone's heads off. Yours too.
Very well. I've no choice but to impose a penalty system here. Why, really?
You'd better be listening. I say I got business to take care of. Big business. If I don't split now, I ain't gonna catch my bus.
The court will now impose a penalty for any irrelevant pressing of witness testimony. Keep that in mind as you begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright. It's Mo all over again. No! Yes, Your Honor. You can do it, Nick. I'm out from under there already, would you, Maya? Gosh darn it. So it's kind of like I'm stuck here, like, do I press or do I present? I don't know nothing about no murder. Yeah, that's not gonna do anything. Okay, so I can't press him like nilly-willy. I gotta press him at a specific point. I was tied up with business on December last year. Spent all my time in my office. Anything that refers to Tiger? I mean, his calendar for one. Only refers to his nickname though. It could be any tiger. You know, even the boss lady said it could have been like a zoo tiger. I don't know. Go whales line up. Whales. You know, that reminds me of gacha games actually. You know how mobile games were, free to play mobile games. But they have optional payment to get stuff in those gacha games, to roll, you know, gamble basically. Virtual items such as servants from Fate Grand Order. Whales are what keep the gacha games afloat in the first place. People who spend a lot of money on such things. Check my alibi. Just ask Violetta. So it's either, I feel like it's either this, we have to press maybe here, or here. Okay, well, I'm probably gonna get a penalty. It's Mo the Clown all over again. I feel like this one, I don't know nothing about the Mo murder. That's super vague. There's nothing I can say about that. I got whales lined up to borrow cash. I mean, that says nothing. That's just what he does. So either we press here, you know, maybe we can get Violetta down here, or we can maybe ask him for more details, you know, about his alibi right here. Hopefully I don't get a penalty? Are you sure about that? We're talking about 1 month ago, you know. You see these teeth? That's how sharp my secretary is. Sharp? Is he talking about Violetta Catarini? She writes everything in my scheduler. December, mainly in the office. That's what it says, so that's where I was. That seems like a rather sketchy schedule. There he goes. What Tiger did all December isn't what the issue. What's important is what he was doing on the day of the murder. So now what? Oh, so you have an option to press harder? But we might catch a penalty though. Let's do it. Mr. Tiger, what's you want? If you wouldn't mind going into a bit more detail. This is a dead end, right? And you know it. Remember the rules. No, it's essential that we establish the witness's alibi accurately. I agree. The victim was killed on December 3rd. Were you in that office that day too? Maybe you isn't listening. Of course I was. I never set foot outside. I had meetings all day with a bunch of cats wanting to do business with me. I had never seen that young kid before. I do believe the witness's last statement was important. Mr. Goodall, if you could please... Mr. Tigger, the court asks you to do that. Add that last statement to your testimony. Don't let an animal beat you. Be a man, Your Honor. Ask him yourself. I don't know, maybe you shouldn't be a man, you should be a dragon instead, you know? The day you're talking about was in the office, I never saw that kid before. Never saw that kid before. Okay, do I press him here or do I present? I'm gonna try and press. I'm probably gonna pay a penalty. Because I feel like I should present something now, but let's see. You didn't know Mr. Glenn Elg, really? I don't mess with the guppies when there are bigger fish to fry. What you say, boss? Who? Me? I was about to hit you with a fat $200,000. Well, I was thinking about purchasing a nice car from Europe. You seriously considering this? Wow, the Tiger's a really good salesman, huh? Yeah, and if I want to sell this case, I need to copy him. How about you hit him with a fat piece of evidence, boss? I wish it was that easy. Never saw that kid before. So we have to prove that he somehow saw the victim before, or he knows somehow. These matches, that ties him to the restaurant, not to the victim. I was thinking like this, his calendar, meet with the Tiger. Is there anything else? Anything else that ties Tiger to the victim? Anything at all? I don't think so. I don't think so, except maybe the magazine clip, or rather the Sports paper. That refers to the MC Bomber, actually, so no. Why is Mask the Mask? I don't know. How does Mask the Mask, you know, the person in the last case, how do they relate? I don't know. But I guess for now, hey, you probably know Glenn. Glenn knows you, right? Huh, please? Mr. Tigray, you claim you didn't know Mr. Glenn Elg, but it appears that Mr. Elg knew you. What? Mr. Elg left this little note on his calendar. Meet with the tiger. And the date? December 3rd. December 3rd? That's the day of the murder. So, Mr. Tigray, I submit that you did indeed know one Mr. Glenn Elg, because on the very day of the incident, you met with him.
Not bad. You actually not bad.
Sorry?
I was just messing with you to see how good you were.
Did you hear that, Nick? He said you're not bad. That's one compliment I can do without. Plus, he's lying through his teeth.
Witness, please remember that you're under oath. Lies will not be tolerated. You calling me a liar? Is that what you're doing?
Ruh-roh. Scoob.
So you're saying that... your claim to have never seen that kid before is the truth? I said I'm dead serious. You just better believe that's the truth. Then I'd say that gives me time to enjoy another cup of pure black magic. That is, while you testify for the court again, Mr. Tigray. Oh yes, would you mind indulging the court, witness?
You never actually met the victim? That's gotta be a lie right there. It's time I nailed this guy.
I ain't no liar. I never met Glenn Elg. There was some lame guy with that name, though, wanted to borrow cash from me. I sat at the meeting with the guy, at my office, 10 to lender. I waited around for him, but he ain't ever showed. I ain't never been to that Très Bien joint, you see? I see. That all seems perfectly logical. You had arranged to meet the victim, but he didn't show up. I've heard it's pretty hard to keep appointments when you're dead. Very well, you may begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honor.
Didn't I tell you I got a big deal going down today? I ain't gonna make my bus now. I'm gonna have to take the express train. That bill is gonna straight to you, right?
Can I still press him, though? Do I get a penalty if I press now? It's a different testimony, so...
I ain't no lie, I never met Glenn Elg.
Can I press him? And yet, your name was written on the victim's calendar.
Get that horse calendar out of my face. I'm the tiger, not a lame horse, you porcupine. Tigers like me eat horses like that for breakfast.
No. Witnesses aren't permitted to eat evidence. Not that they ever would.
Well, there was a case once where a young lad ate...
Anyway, if you've never met the victim before, how do you explain this note he left? Okay, so I think, yeah, we can just press him now. I like pressing. I like, you know, getting this little dialogue with the witness, getting some information. Anyway, that's very strange. According to the manager of the firm where the victim worked, December 3rd was the date he had to repay his loan. It wasn't due to discuss borrowing money, but repaying what he owed.
Oh yeah, maybe he's right. Whatever it was going down at the beginning of December.
So you did meet Mr. Elg then?
Hey, Wright, you might want to cool your jets a sec.
A meeting at the office. So your meeting wasn't supposed to be at Très Bien then?
Why would I want to go to a dump like that? If I want to talk to my clients, I got an office decked out for the job. I got the best punching bag you guys ever saw in there.
Yeah, I did see it. Not exactly a professional office you got there, you know. So you were in your office on the day in question. He didn't show up.
What do you think, Wright? Let's see. How does a dead man get from a French restaurant to a loan shark's office?
And you yourself didn't go to Très Bien.
What are you trying to pin on me here? Why don't you come down to my office? We can chat about this thing my way, yeah? I got the best punching bag you ever saw in there.
No need. I'm good, thanks.
Listen up. I ain't got nothing more to say except this.
Never been to Très Bien. Never? Not even once.
Not even once. I was in my office that day, the day that went down. Didn't put no poison in no kid's coffee, capiche?
Do you think you really didn't meet Glen Elk? Not likely. Because I'm convinced this guy's behind the whole thing. So you mean, the whole testimony he just gave was just one big lie? Of course. So we can't afford to give him time to think of ways to plug the leaks in it. I'm gonna nail him while I still can. Okay, so I think it's pretty obvious. At least for this sentence anyway. He's never been to Très Bien. Well, guess what? Why are these Très Bien matches, you know, in your office, buddy? Mr. Tigre, is there something you'd like to tell the court about these matches?
Matches? What are you talking about?
We found them in your office at Tender Lender. They're from that restaurant.
What?
If you've really never been to Très Bien before, what was a book of the restaurant's matches doing on your desk?
You've been stooping around my stuff now too, wise guy? What are you, my ball and chain? Ain't no bra controlling me. Order. Well, witness, I think it's time you start telling us the truth, don't you?
Sorry, I'm very sorry, forgive me.
Ain't no pussycat. I don't go back on what I said. But okay, I was at the joint that day.
What?
But listen good, alright? I might have been there, but I still never met that kid.
Well.
Looks like an order just came in for another testimony.
I'm this close to proving it was him. He did meet Glen Elk that day. And he did put poison in his coffee. He must have.
I was supposed to meet with the kid at the restaurant that afternoon. When I opened the door to the joint, I saw one ugly scene. The guy was laid out over the table, stiff as concrete. I figured if the place wasn't hot already, I was gonna be, so I split. I heard the cop sirens on my way out, and I went straight back to my office.
I see. You didn't actually meet with him in the end then. You didn't actually meet with him in the end then.
Well, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please.
Yes, Your Honor.
Hold it. If we wait around here any longer, ain't even gonna make the normal express. No more stupid questions. No problem.
Anytime Trip presses you on something irrelevant, I'll see he pays a penalty.
Mr. Goodall, that's my job. Your job is to slam that little hammer of yours and call a guilty verdict. So do it.
Yes, sir.
The special express ain't cheap, right? Just so you know, since you're paying.
Oh man, doesn't the rule of law mean anything around here? Guess not. So again, I can't press him on stupid stuff anymore. Supposed to meet the kid. Okay. When I opened the door, I saw one ugly scene. The guy was laid out on the table, stiff as concrete. I figured the place wasn't hot already, it was gonna split, so I heard I was gonna split. Well, Nick, what do you think? He's running out of ways to avoid the truth. I need to press him fast before he has time to think things through. I've gotta come right back at him with a contradiction. Be careful what you press him on, though, or you'll get penalized, okay? I can't press him again on something not relevant. So probably this one. The guy was laid out over the table, stiff as concrete. So I want to hear at least when I open the door, I saw one ugly scene. Like the fact that the fact that the police was coming is probably not relevant to the case. It's supposed to meet the kid. Probably we can't really prove anything there. So probably I need to ask more further information about what he saw exactly. Because if he's lying, you know, then we might be able to catch him on that. Let's see. You mean you saw Glen Elk's dead body?
I guess I did, but only saw him from behind. He was wearing some raggy bit of cloth he called a hat.
What time was this?
I don't know.
Huh?
You know what winds me up more than anything else in the world? Watches. Round watches. I'm gonna put my paw on some ticking henpecker.
Not of interest, Mr. Tigre. What winds you up the second most?
Huh? What do you think? Square watches.
Square watches? Is this guy for real?
Look, all I needed to know was that something bad was going down that place.
Okay, how about this one? I'm gonna press this one as well. An ugly scene. What do you mean?
The witness has already told us, right? Which makes that a question irrelevant.
But
I limit myself to 70 cups of coffee during a trial. That's the rule. You better limit the number of times you take a penalty, right?
no!
Or your guts will look like the inside of a chimney. Ashen.
Don't make me burn you again, Mr. Trike. No! I mean, I pressed him on that. Saw him from behind, I guess. Okay, I'm gonna press him on this. So you didn't actually set foot inside the restaurant then?
The tiger's a busy cat. I don't hang around for no one. I ain't got time to be caught up in no murder investigation.
So when exactly did you pick up the matches?
There are matches just inside the front door. Our detective friend wound up in trouble with the chef after taking 5 books home.
Poor Gumshoe. It's almost enough to make a man cry. Heard the cop siren. Ah! Okay, I mean, this is I got a penalty there. That sucks. Cause I'm thinking, like, you know, I want to see like what he saw exactly. Might have been a contradiction I can pull there, but maybe not now. I mean, technically, he didn't see anything, right? If he entered the restaurant like this, and then I don't know, but then could he go way over here, or see this guy? You didn't actually set foot inside a restaurant. Don't hang around for nothing. Okay. Can I press this, please? You went straight back. Did about guilt suddenly hit you for what you did?
What you trying to say? You trying to tell me you've never been guilty of nothing?
Um,
We don't have our crosses to bear. We'll have to swallow the dark secrets we hide. Like this. Chug chug chug.
The courtroom's not exactly the place to talk about dark secrets, is it?
It seems we're done again, Mr. Wright. Another irrelevant line of questioning. I must impose a penalty.
Ah! Okay, so that's nothing. How about a penalty for those two jokers in the garbage they keep coming up with? Oh, Nick? Okay. Well, I'm thinking like, okay, this is my line of reasoning. If he didn't really enter the restaurant, and he says he saw the victim, that's impossible, because if you just enter for the entrance, there's something blocking right here, the actual like cash register and the actual just wall. You couldn't have seen the victim from this angle unless you went this way inside, but he did say he left immediately, right? So that must be a lie. You're something of a loan collecting pro, aren't you, Mr. Tigre?
No one escapes the tiger's clutches.
Well, I'm something of a lie detecting pro. And no one escapes the Phoenix's clutches. I think it's time we got something straight.
What's this, Wright? A new line of irrelevant questioning?
There are floor plans of the crime scene. You say you were standing at the entrance, Mr. Tigre. From there, your field of vision would have covered an area something like this.
Indeed, the witness would have had a clear view of the victim's seat. Isn't that what I just said? I saw the back of the kid's head.
Unfortunately for you, that is not possible. If the court would think back, you'll remember that between each of the tables is a tall partition.
Why, if that's true?
Now look at the plans again. The truth is painfully obvious. From the entrance, the field of vision of any customer walking in ends here. So from the entrance of the Tribune, you could have seen the victim's seat. But you did see the victim that day because you met with him.
Wrong. Have you forgotten the old man's testimony yesterday? The victim was alone at his table.
But the defense just proved that point to be moot. The victim witnessed by Mr. Kudo was not Glenn Elg, but a fake.
What?
In order to have Mr. Kudo falsely testify, the real killer posed as the victim he had just killed and acted out a charade. Or charade. Charade? Charades.
That will do. This trial has gone on long enough without the obvious question being answered. Who exactly was this real killer who impersonated the victim? You say the killer murdered Glenn Elg, and then impersonated his victim in a performance for Victor Kudo? In that case, Mr. Wright, reveal the identity of this criminal to the court.
I mean, only this guy. It's only Tigre. Obviously, the killer is Furio Tigre. No one else could have done it.
What? Well, witness? Well, that's cute. You just think you can pin this on the tiger? Maybe you just don't understand. The tiger is king of the jungle. So I dares you to say it again. Come on, you got the guts?
You can't say me, Mr. Tigre. It's the defense. Go ahead and tell the witness, Mr. Wright. Why? Mr. Wright.
Sounds to me like it must be you, old man. You've got guts, I'll give you that.
Mr. Wright, don't leave me in the house alone. What?
Huh. Perhaps I can end this embarrassment. Mr. Kudo, let's just go back over Mr. Kudo's testimony one more time. The old man didn't see just the victim. Oh, no.
Sorry, well, but she don't, but she bought some in it. The question about it, she's very conspicuously put some white powder in it.
Was the victim he saw the real victim or not? That doesn't matter. The fact remains he saw the accused put the poison into the coffee. Yes, it was the waitress who poisoned the...
Very impressive, Mr. Kudo. Waiting for my absence to launch your attack. We stand back up.
Found your pen at last, right?
It was in my pocket. Anyway, Mr. Kudo witnessed two people that day. He saw the victim, the supposed Mr. Glenn Elg, and the waitress from behind.
Yes, your point, Mr. Wright?
I think the conclusion is obvious. If this Glenn Elg was really the killer in disguise, then surely it's possible the waitress was also part of the show.
What? You mean the waitress was an imposter as well? Everyone's an imposter, I guess.
The defendant, Miss Bird, fell unconscious immediately after the incident. And someone used her fainting to hatch an elaborate plan to pin the murder on her.
Who on earth was it? Who was this waitress that Mr. Kudo witnessed?
I mean, it's kind of obvious. I can just tell from the picture, from the hairstyle, you know. But I mean, you know, when you think about it logically, who would be an accomplice to this guy? It would be probably her, like his helper, Viola, right? The assistant at his office. The anti-Maya, you know, basically. Oh, yeah.
Who is this woman?
Her name is Viola Cadaverini. She's an employee at Tender Lender.
You're making a big mistake. Do you know who Violeta's grandfather is? You better be going home in that armored truck tonight if you know what I mean.
Stop shaking, Nick. Where was I? Yes, the defendant, Miss Bird, has stated the following. Well, when I took the coffee over to the victim's table, it's true there was another customer in the restaurant. She was sort of creepy. Yeah, kind of cackling laugh. Yeah. There are just too many contradictions in this case. The second man at the victim's table, who nobody but Miss Bird seems to have seen. The earpiece worn by the victim in his left ear when that eardrum was ruptured. And the radio show he was supposedly listening to half an hour after it was over. You know, if it was Furio Tigre in this disguise, he's pretty good at disguising himself, I'd say. Assuming that picture is like, you know, exactly correct. Maybe not, because considering that he also was disguising as Phoenix Wright as well, you know, maybe he wasn't doing that great of a job, but I guess it just fooled everyone. I don't know, because everyone is not very didn't really take a good look, I guess. There's only one logical explanation that clears up all of these contradictions. The whole incident took place twice, once for real and once for show. And Mr. Frio Tigre, the only person who could have committed the crime, is you.
Witness, what have you got to say? That's cute. Sorry. You's alright. I could do with a guy like you around.
What do you mean?
Okay, I'm in on this game. I'm gonna have to charter a jet to get me to my meeting now, but I'm gonna give you one more thing to think about before I go.
Something to think about?
You's got it all wrapped up nice, alright? Well, you missed out on one real important thing.
Well, that can't be.
I was in the joint that day, and I met that kid too. But I couldn't have poisoned him, you hear?
What?
Do you really expect us to believe you now, Mr. Tigre? What a troublemaker.
Troublemaker?
Looks like we're going to need another one for the road. One more steaming cup of hot testimony. Indeed. Witness, you will explain yourself to the court. I will give you one more chance to testify. What happened that day at Turnabout between yourself and the victim? Yeah, I loaned El Cash about $100,000. That day, he was due to have a little chat. The kid had hit his payback date, see? So anyway, he tells me that he's got no way to pay up. I was about to flatten the guy when he started screaming. Yes, I won $500,000. Got lucky, you know, real lucky. If that waitress had done what she'd done, everything would have been over. Now I see that the principal amount you loaned to Mr. L was $50,000. Yeah, well, you just got the VIG to take into account. Interest builds up fast, you know.
That's faster than fast. $100,000 is twice his principal.
And the repayment deadline was December 3rd, the day of the incident in question. Yeah, he was one lucky kid. He got that $500,000 just in time. So he ain't have no reason to kill the kid. And if I ain't got no motive, you ain't got no case.
His motive? He has to have one, but what is it? I mean, the virus, I think. Anyway. Loaned $100,000. Yeah, how much did he owe? Like, was it $100,000? It doesn't say here, I don't think. I don't know. I mean, you can look at here, right? $100,000. $100,000. You crossed that out, right? But I can only assume because, you know, he won a lot of money, he didn't need to give the virus to Tigre, but maybe Tigre wanted the virus in the first place, right? That's what he actually wanted. Did he have any way of paying the loan back?
The fool was a gambler. He said he couldn't give it up till he landed a big win. So I agreed to help him. Help him? You? I kept hitting him with ideas for ways he could get a big win. But the guy kept losing.
So you were helping him for his sake, or yours?
Win through compromise. You help me, I help you. What's the difference, huh?
I don't believe this.
Nick,
Would anyone really ever loan money to someone they thought was unreliable? Like, for example, if it were you, I only loan you $5 max.
Well, thanks a lot, Maya.
Yeah, usually I mean loan sharks. If it turns out they can't pay it back, then what's the point, right? You're not making money at that point. Gotta have a reliable cash flow, you know? So how much were you expecting him to pay you back on that day?
What's you think? The whole package, $100,000 including interest.
It's a real heavyweight punch.
Once a client misses a repayment, you call the whole loan in. You want to make it in my world? That's all he's gotta do.
And how many times had Mr. L been late with his repayments?
Once.
And how much was he supposed to pay back every month?
$50.
That was like Mr. L was in a real sticky spot. Yeah, $50 a month, he never paid that huge loan off. So anyway, how much do you have left on his debt?
You want it in round figures? About $100,000.
That's the whole amount.
We're talking about a guy who had 58 cents in his wallet. What, you telling me he wasn't even gonna pay for the coffee? He certainly seems to have been a brave man, this Mr. Elg. That guy was smooth, I tells you. Real smooth. You have your money in less than 5 minutes, that's what he says to me. That guy then calls me the tender tiger, who's just getting on thin ice with me.
Was that because he...
The guy won the lottery. Was his last chance at a big win. And you can confirm that this is the ticket in question. That's it. The Millionaire radio show starts at 1:30 PM and runs for 10 minutes. That fixes the time you two met with some accuracy.
And that whole scene was acted out again 3 minutes later. Also, that Mr. Kudo would see it.
I can still see the kid's face now. Ain't never gonna forget it.
Yes, I won! Yay! Was there anyone else in the restaurant at the time?
I don't remember.
If there was no one there, I wore that ridiculous tiger shirt for a month. Mr. Armstrong, Maggie, and if I'm right, Viola Cadaverini were all there at that time.
So the victim had intended to repay you from his lottery winnings from the beginning. Seems that way to me.
But you wouldn't normally expect to win a lottery, would you?
The undying belief that your next roll will end the worst losing streak you ever had. That's what defines a true gambler.
It makes it sound so cool. Don't be tempted, Nick. You haven't got the willpower for it.
All I know is the kid took a shot, he got lucky in the end.
The waitress, you mean?
The girl with the glasses in the fitness chair. Who else could I mean? If she hadn't got in the way, things would have been bada bing bada boom, over and done with.
Maybe I should push a little on this. What do you mean things would have been over and done with?
Are you all there or what? I'm talking about the cash. I was there to get my $100,000 bucks back, that's all. I'm a businessman. It was all coming together before that waitress gone away.
As far as I can tell from the witness's testimony, other than recouping his loan, Mr. T had no motive for killing the victim. Witness, you will amend your testimony to reflect what you just said. The tiger's motive, huh? I was after $100,000 and have no other reason to kill the guy? Are you saying you had no other motives that day?
Yeah, so what?
Then why didn't you take the lottery ticket when you left?
What do you think? Because of Four Eyes over there.
Because of Maggie?
How about you go ask Four Eyes about that $500,000 ticket? She wanted it so bad, she poisoned L's coffee.
A likely theory. Your word hasn't held water lately, Mr. Tigre.
Let's not forget this witness was actually at the scene, right? The law don't exactly agree with some of the deals I sent down. I couldn't be there when the cops show up, so I split.
I see.
Your Honor, the witness's last few statements are worth good 2 cups of coffee.
Well, Mr. Wright, are you happy with the testimony, or would you like to make it amended? Have it amended? I better leave it at that and try to figure something out. Thank you, Your Honor. There's no need to amend the testimony. So Tiger was getting money, could give him a lottery ticket, would have been the end of it. What's the Tiger's motive? This is a big one. Why would he poison him? Why did he loan him in the first place when he knew he couldn't repay him? Well, actually, I don't know, because I'm thinking, like, the reason he wanted to kill him was not because of the money. Tigger didn't want the money, he wanted the CD. For some reason. I don't know why, but that's what he did. But, well, I don't know, okay, let's see. I want to do it again. No other motives that day. Because, I don't know, because I'm thinking, like, I didn't want the testimony to be, amended, because I thought it would change it, I guess? Well, let's see. Let's have it amended after all, actually. Well, I'm not gonna get anywhere with the testimony as it stands. Your Honor, the defense would like the testimony amended. Very well. Witness, you will amend your testimony to reflect your recent statements, please. The Tiger's trying to pin the crime on Maggie. If I ask him about what he saw, it's only gonna damage our case. What do you mean things would have been over and done with? You don't talk about cash. Oh, okay, so it kind of like loops back. Okay, that's how it works. Okay, well, this is not what I want. I wanted this one. Yeah, this is the statement I wanted, because again, well, let's see. I'm trying to figure out, is there like a way to show that Glenn Elg was not just betting on the lottery ticket, ironically, he was also trying to sell the MC Bomber instead. It's like a backup, you know, in case he didn't win the lottery, you know, which was actually very likely, but in this case it wasn't. Or rather, it turned out like he did win the lottery, but if he did not, then he would have just sold the MC Bomber, right? Now I think about it, again, that might have been what Tigger was after this whole time. You know, he wasn't after the money, he was after the virus that would have been worth way more. It was worth millions, not just $100,000 or $500,000, more than millions. Right? As far as I know, is there anything else that would show? Except maybe this doodle, I guess. It does refer to MC Bomber, but okay, I think I'm gonna show this. I didn't have no other reason to kill the guy. Maybe the contradiction is, you did have a reason, you also wanted this CD. So you just intended to get back the $100,000 Mr. Elg owed you, right? I loaned the guy the cash, so that's my right. Unfortunately for Mr. Elg, I don't believe the $100,000 is what you were really after. What are you getting at, Wright? What else would a moneylender be after other than money? Oh, the moneylender was after money, but money in a totally different league. The kind of money that a single disc like this would fetch. What is that? A computer virus, Your Honor. A virus called MC Bomber. A computer virus? What does that one of those do? A computer virus is a program that wreaks havoc on the insides of a computer. A computer? What does one of those do? I guess the beard isn't the only part of his honor that is from the Stone Age. Well, I'll explain it to you later, Your Honor. Right now, this is an important point. A virus like MC Bomber will be worth several $1 million on the black market. Several $1 million? Lending money with no hope of ever seeing repayment will normally be bad for business. But in this case, the very fact that Glenn Elg had no way to repay the money is crucial. What? Glenn Elg was a programmer, a highly skilled programmer. That skill was the collateral Mr. Elg put up in order to borrow the money. Objection! You tried to suggest the witness's motive was to get a hold of that program? Exactly. The witness may have poor fashion sense, but he's by no means an idiot, right? A man like him could get his hands on $1 million without resorting to murder. Of course he could, provided that he had time. But what if he had needed the money right then? When the pressure is on, the luxury of choice tends to disappear. It seems you have a logical conclusion for this theory, Mr. Wright. Would you care to share it with us? Why did Mr. Tigre need money to the tune of $1 million? He needed money because he needed to pay off Viola's operation, in which he was culpable to, at least according to the big mafia boss in town. In December of last year, you found yourself in the need of a huge amount of money. About 6 months ago, you were involved in a traffic accident, weren't you? An accident involving a car and a scooter in which a young woman was injured. She was taken to the hospital, where she underwent surgery.
How much of this do you know?
These medical papers document the treatment of the young woman in question. According to these, her operation cost $1 million. And yet, when the payment was due last month, you somehow managed to pay it in full.
$1 million? A preposterous sum. Someone should sue these HMOs.
Healthcare in Japan, America.
No one would pay a bill like that. If the medical association got wind of it, the hospital would end up as dead as a morgue.
But Mr. Tigre had no choice but to pay, because his very life depended on it. Roar! I think the in-game roar is much better than what I could do. So I'll just let the game provide the roaring sound effect.
You say his life depended on it, Mr. You say his life depended on it, Mr. Wright.
Indeed it did, simply because the injured woman was none other than Viola Cadaverini.
Did you say Cadaverini?
Cadaverini? I assume it's Cadaverini. Cadavers? Like cadaver, right? That's a corpse, you know? Bruto Cadaverini, mob boss in charge of all underworld activities in the city and doting grandfather to his precious Violetta, also known as Viola Cadaverini.
Bar!
Your life was in danger unless you paid compensation to the boss, correct? It makes sense. You were desperate to acquire the $1 million Bruto Cadaverini demanded of you. So desperate in fact, that you decided to sacrifice Glen Elk's life to pay your debt. On the day of the murder, Mr. Tigre's sole intention was to get his hands on the CD. Glen Elk had no way of paying back the $100,000, and Mr. Tigre knew it. But then a miracle happened. The kind that Mr. Tigre would prefer to say never happened, but he can't, and neither can I. The lottery win. Exactly. At the 11th hour, Mr. Elk won $500,000 on the lottery, which left Mr. Tigre with no way of getting his hands on the all-important CD. At least, no legitimate way. So he resorted to illegitimate means. Illegitimate means.
That's crazy.
He murdered Glen Elk and then made his next move, to frame Maggie Bird for the crime. Mr. Tigre posed as Glen Elk, while Viola Cadaverini played the role of Miss Bird. And then they reenacted the whole thing in order to establish a witness. The witness being the one we all heard testify yesterday, Mr. Victor Kudo.
Like I said, right? That's crazy. No one could pull off a stunt like that. For starters, there's no way the chef could have been kept in the dark about it.
But Mr. Armstrong was in on it from the very beginning. Have you forgotten already, Mr. Godot? Mr. Armstrong owing the witness money too, or owed the witness money too, $500,000 in fact. He had no choice but to go along with Mr. Tigre's plan.
Order. Silence, or we'll clear the You just put on a good show, Spiky.
I don't know why you call me Spiky. You're spiky too. Unless, I don't know, did you like make your hair spiky just so you could like, you know, pose yourself as, you know, as Phoenix Wright, or did you have that spiky hair the whole time? In which case, I feel like, you know, again, why are you calling me Spiky when you're Spiky as well?
If you want to stay alive with the loan shark business, you gotta be careful. You saying I dressed up like that kid, created a witness, and framed someone. If I did something crazy like that, I'd leave a trail as red as my shirt. Are you dumb enough to do something sloppy like that?
I agree.
You do?
Despite your appearance, you are very careful. That's why you took one more precaution. One more trick to make sure Miss Bird had no way out.
What? Another one, Mr. Wright? Interesting. Why don't you fill us all in, Wright? What was this trick you say Mr. Tigre performed to frame the accused?
I mean, he put the poison in this bottle. I mean, he planted evidence in particular, right? He put the lottery ticket on Maggie and also planted the potassium cyanide, right? I think so. There's something else. Because that's all I can think of at the moment. You know, framing Maggie in general involved, like, again, posing as the waitress and as the victim so they can make the old man leave, and so they put the corpse on the same position. Right? And also planted the evidence in the first place in Maggie's pockets. Hopefully I'm right? Because I'm thinking again, because where did I get the bottle? Deadly powdery poison. Because I assumed the poison, I assumed before the bottle was from the medication, you know? And they put the poison in there. Because initially, I don't know why I thought this, but initially I thought that the poison wasn't in like another container, you know? Or something, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I'm gonna assume it's the bottle. Let's see.
And what's the relevance of that, right? Goddamn.
It's this little intro.
An intro into what? It seems all this has been an elaborate trick on the part of the defense.
No, that's a lot of penalties. Wait, a deep blade trick, a huge trick.
Interesting. What you feel is
I don't know what the trick is. What was the trick you say Mr. Tigre performed to frame the accuser? I'm so close. I'm so close, and yet it's all been thrown away. It's all thrown away because I don't know exactly what he did. Oh wait, him being a lawyer, right? Right? The fact, a huge trick. It was like an article. I mean, that doesn't say like exactly, but I think it's this. I mean, the other trick is the fact that he pretended to be me. He pretended to be Phoenix, right? I mean, that's the other trick, right? I assume so. I don't know if I need to present this badge or the newspaper clipping. I think the badge is more relevant. You know, it's more like, you know, physical.
What on earth is that? What an insult to think anyone could be fooled by such a childish imitation.
It's my badge! No, well, it's a cardboard badge. It's a fake badge. Consider yourself insulted, Your Honor.
Mr. Tigre,
you didn't just pose as the victim on the day in question. A month ago, in this very court, you posed as me. Yeah, that didn't come into my, that didn't come to mind, immediately, because I assumed it was just obvious. But then again, you know, I guess maybe no one really thought about it until now.
What? That's the truth. But the witness looks nothing like you, Mr. Wright. Although, now that I think about it, it was you, wasn't it?
Now they say that.
Well, no doubt it was you, standing here in this very courtroom a mere months ago. The Phoenix Wright who put up the most disreputable, shabby defense I've ever seen. Can you prove that, Gramps? Prove the attorney who had represented the accused here a month ago was this man. Are you prepared to take the stand and testify that was him?
Oh, wait.
Grilling the judge. Hey.
Forget about it, yeah? Forget about it. Forget about it. I wouldn't do something like that, not me. You made a mistake, right? It was someone else, huh?
Have you no pride, sir? This ain't a matter of pride. In case you didn't know, Wright, here in court we deal with people's lives.
Nah.
Mr. Godot's right. Your Honor, speaking for myself, I am absolutely convinced. The attorney in question was the witness standing before me now. However, I preside over this court as a judge, with the vested power to hand down a verdict. Someone in my position cannot be swayed by memory without evidence to support it.
No.
If the defense has no further evidence, the court will now excuse the witness. The circumstances surrounding Mr. Tigre are dubious for sure, but not conclusive.
But we've come so far.
You say he impersonated Glen Elg. You say he impersonated you. But none of that adds up to a murder charge. You don't have a shred of evidence that the witness poisoned the victim's coffee.
Nyarg. Nyarg.
Huh. Going back to, he was all like, sweaty before, but now he's going back to confident mode. Sucks to be you, right? Don't mess with the tiger, or you get mauled. You's got that?
All we managed to do here was chase him around a bit. I was so close to getting him to admit his own guilt.
Huh. Looks like I won't be needing a refill.
If I just had one more piece of evidence. One more piece of evidence and maybe I could get Maggie off the hook.
This witness's cross-examination's over. You are free to go, Mr. Tigre.
Don't catch that jet?
Hold it! Your Honor, sir. Wait! Haha! It's Gumshoe, he's got the evidence. Detective Gumshoe. Sorry it took so long, pal. I staked everything on this. My badge, the works. So here it is. My heart's counting on this too. What is it, Detective? Is it obvious, pal? It's the final decisive piece of evidence. But... Nani?
Oh, we're gonna adjourn court for a bit, I guess?
Sorry it took so long, pal, but I finally got the results from the lab.
The results?
About the prints, pal, from this medicine bottle.
Oh, so? Do you know who the prints belong to now?
Do you think I'm some kind of hack detective? Of course I know.
So, tell us. They're the tigers, right? I knew it.
You bet. Clear as crystal, all over the bottle. They're Frio Tigro's paw prints, alright.
That's great. We got him now, Nick. What's wrong with you? You've hardly said a word since Detective Gumshoe got here. He's laid everything on the line for this, Nick. I know. Look, I'm sorry. This is kind of hard to say, but it really doesn't make any difference whose prints are on the bottle now.
Huh? What? Why not?
What we need to produce at this stage in the trial is irrefutable evidence that the tiger put poison in Glenel's coffee. He's already admitted that he met the victim. The fact that his prints are on this bottle, that really doesn't make any difference now.
Oh. I knew it. But great, no matter how hard I try, I'm never of any use.
Hey, don't be so hard on yourself.
This was our last chance to help Maggie, and I've been working on some useless piece of evidence the whole time. It's alright. I'm a real loser. It's not breaking news to me, pal.
Detective Gumshoe? Maggie, you've been working on something for me?
Sorry I let you down, Maggie. I know you didn't do it. And I'm a detective. We're supposed to be able to prove stuff like that. I'm really sorry. I'll get you out of your hair now.
Detective Gumshoe, wait! He's gone. See ya! Is there anything we can do now, Nick? I wish there was. Gumshoe worked so hard to get that evidence. If only there was some way I could use it. Yeah, I don't know. That's the medicine bottle, right? So I don't know how that... I don't know. How's that gonna prove anything at all? It just proves that he touched it, and that's it. He took out the medication from the prescription bag, and for some reason...
Well, Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honor.
I granted you a recess so you could prepare this decisive evidence you've discovered.
Yes.
Don't keep us all in suspense, Wright. Show us. Naturally, we can assume it's evidence that will actually stand up in court, can't we?
Oh, think, Phoenix, think. Also, I want to save. It's been a while, so I just want to save a little bit. I mean, that was sort of like a checkpoint, you know? We had a bit of a recess. Usually we save between recesses, you know? Anyway. Just think, Phoenix. Don't let Gumshoe's hard work go to waste.
How much more of my time are you just gonna waste? I ain't been to no court before. We lawyers sure know how to blow things out of proportion.
I've no doubt, given the nature of the evidence, it will speak for itself. Nevertheless, you will talk us through it, Mr. Wright. Well, I know I can't prove anything new with this evidence. I'm really backed into a corner here. Maybe if he thinks he's got me beat, he'll let his guard down a bit. Don't keep us waiting any longer, Mr. Wright. Present this final decisive piece of evidence to the court. My badge! No, okay, here we go. This is the defense's final piece of evidence.
Isn't that the victim's?
Your Honor, naturally the court is already aware of the contents of this bottle. However, interesting new information has come to light. We have clearly identified some fingerprints on it. Fingerprints belonging to you, Mr. Tigre.
What?
But Mr. Wright, what conclusion are you hoping to draw from this new information? Everyone in here knows what this bottle contains, except one man. One person in this courtroom should theoretically be in the dark, yeah.
My prints in that pansy-looking bottle, is that what you're saying? But what the hell's in it anyway?
A phony trial, a phony lawyer, and phony clues. Everything about this case has been phony. Seems like the perfect excuse for some phony evidence. Isn't that against the law? You can't just put fake evidence out there. Or Mr. Tigre, this is the decisive piece of evidence that will prove your guilt. Why? Because it contains Mr. Armstrong's special aromatherapy oils. I mean, this is the truth. It does contain air medicine. Or we can say it's potassium cyanide. This is basically lying. We're just lying. We're committing perjury as a lawyer. Can we do this? I don't think we can. But maybe we can bluff. Maybe we can bluff it out. Maybe we'll be a phony lawyer as well. Yay! This bottle contains potassium cyanide.
But potassium cyanide?
The poison used to murder Mr. L, Your Honor. The victim's killer used this very bottle. And on this bottle, Mr. Tigre, we found your fingerprints. Well, how do you explain that?
You make a good clown, you know that?
What?
You saying I'm never gonna get this to stick. You're just making me laugh now. You think a cheap bluff like that's gonna fool the tiger?
A bluff?
I'm actually bluffing. I can see straight through you, Phoenix Wright. That ain't the bottle with the cyanide in it.
No. This is the bottle we found traces of the poison in.
Don't mess with the tiger, or you're just gonna get ripped to shreds. The cyanide bottle's brown, was made of glass. That cheap piece of trash don't look nothing like it.
Got him! At last. He got baited.
What? Why's everyone gone quiet? Or said that bottle?
Is this the bottle you're referring to?
Yeah, that's it. That's the bottle the cyanide was in. But you're gonna find my prints on that bottle. Don't let that cousin-looking suit fool you people.
That's lawyers just playing games. Tell him, Mr. Prosecutor. Tell that guy where to go.
You still haven't figured it out? Did you realize what you just said? What I said? What did I just say?
You were summoned to this court for the first time earlier today. It really had nothing to do with the murder. You shouldn't have known all the little details. For instance, you shouldn't have known what kind of bottle the potassium cyanide was in.
Yeah.
But just now, you slipped up in front of every single person in this courtroom. You described the exact bottle used by the killer to hold the poison.
You don't know who you're messing with. I'm the Tiger. I control millions of dollars on the black market. You think I'm gonna let some jumped up suit get the better of me?
Sure, the last piece of evidence was phony. But that's just what you deserve. The phony trial with a phony lawyer. It was all played out by you, the biggest phony of all. Roar. Oh, what? Did he just... He yelled, he roared so loud all the lights turned off? Like they broke or something?
What was going on?
It looks like a blackout. so lights in the dark.
Well done, Wright. I saved my 17th cup of coffee just for you.
Hey, hit me directly in the face, even in the dark. I guess maybe he had, I don't know, maybe that mask is also night vision goggles?
Savor it. While you watch the police restrain your prey. Mr. Wright, you caught a tiger by his toe, but if this one hollers, he won't let you go. Okay. Now then, how are things going with Mr. Tiger, Mr. Godot? He's being arrested on the suspicion of the murder of Glenn Elg, Your Honor. Well, fortunately for us, we managed to rectify a very grave error. Miss Bird was found guilty in absence of a genuine defense attorney.
Yes, she was.
And in absence of a genuine evidence, but the tiger made one mistake. Indeed. He very nearly got away with everything if it wasn't for that one slip of the tongue. For your tiger is truly a frightening criminal. The truly frightening one is that defense attorney over there. Godot. Well, I am now in position to deliver my verdict. This court finds the defendant, Maggie Bird,
Yay.
That is all. The court is now adjourned.
You know, I was wondering, like... I mean, we kinda caught him with that little lie, I guess. How could he have known about the poison if he wasn't here in the first place? But couldn't he have heard about the poison when he was, like, being a phony lawyer, you know? Or maybe that didn't... I don't know, maybe that didn't get brought up, you know, in the actual initial trial, maybe? Anyway. Mr. Wright, I've been at a loss for words. Thank you, sir. Congratulations, Maggie. I was so mad when Mr. Wright landed me in all that trouble a month ago, but now I feel like I can forgive him. Hey, that wasn't me, Maggie. That was the tiger. Look, Nick. In the doorway. Detective Gumshoe.
Oh, I guess I'll be heading up now. See you around, pal.
See ya.
Wait.
Detective Gumshoe.
Oh yeah. Congratulations, Maggie.
Thanks.
I knew you were innocent all along.
Why did you say that in your testimony then?
Huh? Oh, well, I was... Well, guess I'll be heading off then. See you around. Whoop.
Wait up, detective. He just ran off. Maggie, why are you being so hard on him? He busted his butt for you. It's thanks to him that we got the medication bottle. That wasn't even of any use. But... it's only because Mr. Wright used it so cleverly. Detective Gumshoe was just running around in circles. What a loser! Poor guy. Looks like she still isn't ready to forgive him. Can't you put in a good word for him, Nick? Yeah, Maya's right. I should help Gumshoe out. It's clear he needs it. Maggie, you know, Detective Gumshoe's been really worried about you through all of this. I want to believe that, sir. But on that first day of the trial, he practically gave the judge a free pass to lock me up. Well, he didn't have a choice, Maggie. He's a detective. He has to report the facts. He doubted me, that's why. He thought I might have done it. I've got to prove to her that Gumshoe really cares about her. I know, I'll give her a little present to celebrate her freedom. My badge! No, have some poison! Kill her right now. No, okay. Give her the goddamn lunchbox with a bunch of weenies. That's what we need to do. Super obvious. Here you are, a present to celebrate your freedom. That's a present from Detective Gumshoe, made with a ton of love. He said you lost weight and he was worried about you. Detective Gumshoe? I actually really like weenies, you know. Did you guys hear that? I'm pretty hungry myself, you know. Yeah, the trial dragged on a bit today, didn't it? Is it okay if I eat this now? Nom 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 nom. So, how's it, Maggie? It's really good. It's the taste of freedom. Amazing. So the case of a phony versus genuine comes to an end. The false allegations surrounding Maggie have all been cleared up. And who knows, maybe a whole new chapter of her life is about to start. Okay. Maybe she'll get a different job this time. I don't know, last time she was a cop, now she's a waitress. What's next? I have no idea. Alright, oh look, it's Edgeworth in a different costume. Amazing. Okay.